I want to talk about why I think black people, black parents need to really take a look at their kids' education and really try to come to terms that they themselves need to start educating their kids. I want to just take a look at an article that I came across, which although it's focusing on this one particular school district in Florida, but you pretty much can use the same article and references throughout the country where you have a predominantly black population in a black school district. And the article starts off this Florida school district is failing black students at a shocking rate. That's exactly what it chose to do. And I'm not going to go through the whole article. I'm just kind of paraphrasing here. And it's a school district in Florida. It's Pinellas County. And if you're not familiar with Florida, in Pinellas County, that's where Tampa Bay and St. Petersburg, that's where those two cities lie in. In Pinellas County, the St. Petersburg has one of the worst school districts, and of course, it's predominantly black. And I just want to read one paragraph out of this article, which if you have kids, if you have young black kids, and we really need to look at how we're educating our kids. I mean, we can't keep following, number one, their system, and we can't keep thinking that these systems are really going to benefit black kids. It's not about black kids not being able to learn. It's not about it's not about us being inferior or anything like this. You have to remember there's been a system set up in place that wants these kids to fail. And it wants these kids to fail through the way of people not caring. So I'll just read one part of the article. It says, when the board voted, and it's talking about the school board, voted to resegregate in December 2007, it vowed to pour more resources into what will become overnight majority poor and black schools. More counselors and social workers beefed up after the school and summer programs. It did none of these things. Funding was erratic, and unlike other districts with high poverty schools that have made efforts to invest in minority students, a computer tracking program in Brevard County that's giving examples how other counties tried to invest in their district. Brevard County had a computer tracking program which gave teachers incentives of a bonus of $20,000 in Duval County. But the Pinellas County Board just shrugged off the plummeting scores and skyrocketing reports of behavioral problems and actively ended any attempts at intervention. More than half of teachers in the 5 schools requested transfers out in 2014. So you have, of all the teachers in this school district, more than half of them asked to be transferred out. And in some classes had up to 12 different teachers in a single school year. So if you're a young black kid, if you sitting in a classroom, in your class and throughout the course of a school year, you have 12 different teachers that come into your classroom. How in the hell are you supposed to learn anything? That's like having a different teacher almost every month and a half in this school district. I don't even know how can a school district even allow something like that to happen. But because it's predominantly black school district, of course they're going to allow that to happen. Scrolling down here a little bit more, pretty much what the article was talking about, the school district tried to say, well, these are poor black students, they come from poverty, so of course we're going to have a hard time, educating these people, educating these kids, this and that. But after the investigation, they come to find out poverty really didn't have anything to do with it. It wasn't about the kids being, impoverished. It was pretty much about the school district not really caring about the kids because, of course, it was a predominantly black school district. And when you have a predominantly black school district, people tend to care less about the kids. So I'm just trying to encourage people. If you have kids, we really need to start look at looking at how we can re-educate our kids, because we just can't keep them in the system. And I know this is here in Florida, but this article can apply pretty much to anywhere in a country, anywhere where you have a predominantly black school system. And for us, after 50, 60 years, when we kept trying to fight to integrate with these people, and say, well, we want the same education as they have it's not going to work. Why would we even have to fight to have our kids educated the same as them? That is showing you right then and there that they don't care about your kids, because they don't believe in equal education. This country has never been set up to have equal education, let alone for black young kids to have equal education. And the trick that black people keep playing on us is that they'll point to a couple of black kids and say, look, well, they've made it. How come the rest of the black kids haven't made it? And it's always those exceptions that everybody keep pointing to. But that's not the mass. That's not the masses. For when I read that you can allow to have 12 different teachers in one class in one school year, how the hell is any student going to be able to learn anything when you have that many teachers coming in and out of a school classroom? Black people, we really need to start educating our kids on our own. With the advent of the internet and having so much information at our disposal, and quick information at our disposal, we really need to start sitting down, taking the time, and coming up with a plan to where we can't rely on this system. We can't rely on other people to teach our kids. Now, if these people are the enemy, which they are, if this system is the enemy to our children, which it is, then we need to stay away from that system. We need to stay away from these people, because these people have proven time and time again that they do not care about our kids. So if you a parent, if you have a young black kid in school, if I don't care if it's elementary, middle, or even high school, we really need to find different ways to educate our kids. Because if you send them off to the white school, then they got to conform, and they can't be themselves, and they pretty much will start acting out because they know they can't be themselves. But then if you keep them in the hood, they're not being educated properly, because nobody really care about the young black kids in the hood. So what do? We have to start educating our own kids. And even if you can't educate your own kid right away, you working, your family, everybody's working, you don't have the proper, people around you, then you have to start taking time and educating that kid whenever possible, whenever you have available time. Get other people, get other parents to sit down. Okay, on the weekends, we're going to, go over our kids' homework, or, teach the kids what we feel they should know. But the way things are going, and if we keep asking for this system to treat our kids fairly, when over the past 50, 60 years, it's been proven that they don't give a damn about our young black kids, then it's more back on us. We got to take the steps to educate our own. So I just want people, hopefully people, this article can kind of enlighten you, because basically what the article is saying, it's not really about poverty. It's not about, kids aren't learning because they're in poverty or because they're poor. It's pretty much they're not learning because people just don't give a damn. And when you're a kid and you see people don't really care about you, that's not going to motivate you to learn. That's not going to want to get you into the books or reading anything like that. We know that.